This morning on the news show, Manchester United will offer Marcus Rashford counselling if he reaches out for help. There's also been, I suppose, some interest from the continent in relation to the player for a potential move. And are Manchester United about to get a brand new director of football? Let's get right into it. So, of course, we're going to start with Marcus Rashford. And look, we know what's been going on in his life the past couple of days. It hasn't been good. He's been struggling on and off the field by the looks of things. Certainly on the field. You know, we don't really know what's going on in his life off the field. And I wouldn't like to speculate either. It's none of my concern. There shouldn't be any of your concern either. You know, players have got private lives that they, deserve to remain private. However, Manchester United are there for support, according to Chris Wheeler in the Daily Mail. He says that Manchester United will offer Marcus Rashford counselling if he reaches out for help. And look, again, I'm not too sure what's going on in Marcus Rashford's life in the background. You know, he's a 26-year-old kid. We know he broke up with his missus lately, and you know, his performances on the pitch, his demeanour, his body language, all kind of suggest that he's not a happy person at the moment. And you know, for what reason, I'm not too sure. Rightly so, Manchester United are offering Marcus Rashford support. It should be the case. And look, there's been a lot of backlash, online over the last few days, ever since the story broke about Marcus Rashford and he missed the game. And look, absolutely, he did make a mistake. But sometimes people just need support in their life, and that's it. I'm not saying it's on the same scale as Dele Alli, but we've seen what happened with Dele Alli. He got slated for years about his performances and his lack of professionalism and so on and so forth. He sits down and does one interview with Gary Neville, and all of a sudden everybody's mentality and everybody's opinion changes of him. So I don't want to be too quick to jump to conclusions with Marcus Rashford. I will judge him on his performances on the pitch. And, you know, obviously there was a lack of professionalism this week, but he made a mistake. It's not a reoccurring theme with Marcus Rashford. He's been, we know about the Man City incident when he went out after the Man City game for his birthday. It was probably pre-planned. The one thing I would say about this time around with Belfast is that you've got a week off the previous week. Go and do it then. So he has made a mistake. Is it a cry for help? People are saying, again, that's not for me to speculate about. If it is, it's good to see that Manchester United will be there to give him as much help as as they possibly can. And rightly so. Every team should protect their players as much as they can. There can be internal disciplinary issues, like Marcus Rashford is after getting a 2-week fine. And, that's okay. That's all part of, being an employee of a football club. You have to stick by the rules. And if you step outside the rules, then you get a fine. If you do it consistently, then, you might see maybe what happened with the likes of Jadon Sancho, or, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo was another one who broke the rules a couple of times. And, I suppose the implications get more and more severe each time you do it. Now, look, Marcus Rashford has got a 2-week fine, and that's the end of it. He's back. He's available for the Wolves game tomorrow night. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's over and done with. Now, he does have to go out onto the pitch and prove, everybody wrong. He has to go out with improved performances and I suppose make people trust him again, because his performance levels haven't been good enough for us to do that. He's been very inconsistent throughout his entire career. I want Marcus Rashford to succeed at Manchester United. I really do. He's a local lad. He comes through the academy, so on and so forth. But nobody is exempt from criticism. And if you're not good enough and you're not performing consistently over a number of years, then maybe it is time to move him on. Now, look, when we're talking about moving on Marcus Rashford, there has been one team in particular that has been linked with him more than anybody else over the course of the last maybe 3 to 4 years, and that's PSG. Now, according to reports today as well from iNews in France, PSG are looking at a potential summer move for him again. Now, look, we do know that they're going to be losing Kylian Mbappe in the summer, and it is an ideal swap. Now, I'm not saying the quality levels are the same between Mbappe and Marcus Rashford, but you're taking out a left winger of Mbappe and you're putting in one like Marcus Rashford, somebody who's got, you would say in the world of football, a global image, and PSG are certainly looking for something like that, and he is a quality player. Does he need to get away from England and kind of revive his career. I'm not sure we're quite there yet. Let's see how we get on between now and the end of the season. But I do certainly think that Manchester United need to keep a close eye on this. I think if Marcus Rashford continues to underperform between now and the end of the season, I think now is or the summer is probably the time to maybe look to move him on to get some money in for him. You know, if he continues these inconsistencies, if he continues to step out of line, you know, the price of his stock is going to absolutely plummet. So Manchester United need to look at this very carefully. I've said it before. I think if an offer of 80 million plus comes in for Marcus Rashford, I think we take it. I think it's probably... I wouldn't like to see him leave, but if we're looking at rebuilding the Manchester United squad, getting back to where we need to be, I think taking 80 million for Marcus Rashford will go a long way in terms of helping us to achieve that, reinvesting it into the squad. I think we can get players in that are as good as him. Maybe not with as much potential, but in terms of what we see on the pitch, then I think it might not be a bad idea to move him on for that kind of money. Now, if we're offered 50 or 60 million, no, you know. But look, let's see what happens between now and the end of the season. Marcus Rashford has to improve his performances and, you know, has to win over an awful lot of people. Now, next up, are Manchester United about to get a brand new director of football? Now, when I say brand new, I mean we've never had one before. So this would be the first director of football in Manchester United's history. Now, according to the Telegraph today, then one appointment that is expected in the coming days is a director of football. And they're announcing, they're expecting the announcement imminently. Newcastle's Dan Ashworth and Crystal Palace's Dougie Freedman are both admired at Manchester United, are considered leading candidates for the position. Ashworth previously worked at Brighton, so on and so forth. And there's also been talks then as well at the likes of Paul Mitchell and this and that. Now, look, we've been speaking quite in depth over the past few days about, you know, Manchester United and the new INEOS group coming in and changing things from the top down rather than the bottom up. You know, and I think that's why we're seeing maybe a lack of activity in the transfer market. Obviously, we've got today and tomorrow to do some business. I don't think we're going to do anything, to be quite honest. And in a way, I'm kind of happy that they're doing it the way they are. They're starting with director of football. Obviously, we've seen Omar Barada has come in from Manchester City in the past few days, and they're looking to work their way down from that. Director of football, so on and so forth. Are they going to skip the managerial position? That remains to be seen between now and the end of the season. But I am positive about the way they're going about things. Manchester United do need a director of football. That is quite clear. And I think, you know, given the names that are coming forward, Dan Ashworth, Dougie Freedman at Crystal Palace, you know, he's signing, you know, the likes of Eze, Gehi, Elise, these types of players. These guys do know what they're doing and they're well able to identify players. We know what Dan Ashworth has done. He's been at Brighton before, and you know, we know how well Brighton are at identifying players, bringing players in under the radar, you know, to that have, you know, no ceiling in terms of improvement. And that's what Manchester United need. We need to get these types of players in under the radar for good money and sprinkle them in about, you know, the experienced players, whether that's Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw, if Casemiro remains, whatever it may be. But director of football is vitally important for Manchester United in the rebuild and what we're trying to do. Again, I worry a little bit about Erik ten Hag. I said it last night that I think he's probably become the Manchester United manager 18 months too soon. I keep getting this feeling that INEOS are changing everything and they're going to change the manager as well. I've said before, I want Erik ten Hag to be the manager. I want him to be given time under the INEOS group. And if that is the case, I think he can be quite successful, especially under the likes of Omar Barada. If it, say, for example, Dan Ashworth and Erik ten Hag all working together to identify players, a style of football, where we want to go, I think they can be really successful. I really do. We do know that the squad needs a massive clear out. There's a lot of deadwood still there, you would have to say. Underperforming players, you know, we bought bad. We bought some good as well under Erik ten Hag. You know, the likes of Martinez, you know, Rasmus Højlund, Casemiro, so on and so forth. So, look, this structure at Manchester United is something that is going to need to change. And it is going to change by you know, all of these reports are to be believed. So, look, don't be surprised if a director of football comes in the next couple of days, and I think the sooner the better for Manchester United, because, like we're saying, we need to attack this summer transfer window with ferocity, because we haven't done anything in January. I think that's the reason why, is because we probably do want to go hell for leather for the summer transfer window. We need a big overhaul of players. We need a lot of players in, a lot of players out, so we need to get to work identifying them between now and the end of the season. But let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Do you agree with what we're saying here? Let me know your thoughts and comments below. Please do smash a like on the video as well. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure you do send me your 60-second match preview clips as well before tomorrow night's game. If you can get them to me before tonight, that would be brilliant. 60 seconds. Let me know your match preview, your starting 11, your score predictions. I'm going to put them all together, and you will be part then of our match build-up video an hour or two before the game. So if it's something you're interested, please do send them to me by email, unitedcommunitychannel@outlook.com. The more I get, the better the videos will be, and it's a chance for you to get involved in the channel as well. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back tonight from 8 o'clock for the Transfer News Show as always. But until then, take it easy.